Welcome to Sage Audio. Today let's cover the top 10 vocal compressors, but first, if you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Proceed 2 by FabFilter. The plugins in this list are some of my favorites and go-tos for personal projects, but let me know in the comments which ones you use. Now, you probably predicted that the Proceed 2 would be on this list, so I figured I'd put it first. I personally enjoy it for its incredibly clean sound, making it a great tool for dynamic control without changing the vocal's timbre. For a truly modern sounding vocal, try the Upfront preset. It engages the plugin's vocal algorithm and pushes the vocal right to the top of the mix. So let's take a listen using a tweaked version of this preset.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
Comptube STA by Arturia. This is a great replication of a vintage tube compressor, which works well at creating a smooth and consistent vocal, indicative of classic recordings. Now, I like the addition of the triple mode, which utilizes a faster attack and release time, making it more suitable for modern vocals. The advanced section gives us an internal sidechain where we can emphasize certain vocal frequencies. For example, we could amplify around 2 kHz, which would add a unique character to the vocal's presence. Now, it also allows us to isolate compression to a specific frequency range. I usually use this on BGVs to smooth out the sound and help it blend in with the lead, but let's take a listen to it on the lead vocal to better understand its effect.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and it helps us bring you more videos. Presswork by Yuhi. If you're really interested in complex compression, this is a great compressor with a lot of options. When working with vocals, I like using interactive detection, which combines feed-forward and feedback compression, resulting in a great mix of program-dependent and static amplitude attenuation. Now, I love the auto makeup gain feature, optional non-linearities in attenuation, and up top, the dual phase rotation feature, which causes mild phase cancellation to transients, resulting in a perceived warmer and fuller sound. The expansion option is also great, which introduces subtle gating or downward expansion, in turn increasing the dynamic range of the vocal without affecting its peaks. It can introduce both peak and RMS compression, making it easy to control a vocal, and best of all, if the interface feels too time-consuming or intimidating, there's a vocal compressor setting, which combines some of the best aspects of what we've been discussing so far. So let's use this vocal compressor view and notice how well it controls our vocals dynamics.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
Weiss DS by Softtube. This is by far my favorite vocal de-esser due to its transparent sound at moderate settings and still incredibly pleasant sound at higher levels of attenuation. Now, if you like the sound of this de-esser, you could use the full DS1 compressor, which this de-esser is pulled from. However, I find I'm always using this compressor for de-essing anyways, so I might as well keep it simple and use the de-essing version. Now, I really like the ability to change the latency, the wet-dry, and various behaviors like the attack and release, knee, and more. Lastly, the mid-side option makes this perfect for vocal bus processing, in which you want to affect the sibilants more so than any effects like reverb or delay, which may be in the same frequency range, but on the side image. Let's take a listen.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
Soothe 2 by Oak Sound. Now, you might be wondering why I put this plugin on here since it isn't really considered a compressor, but when you think about it, you realize it's a multi-band compressor made up of a lot of bands with a sidechain emphasis or de-emphasis EQ prior to that compression. Now, that's why it includes an attack and release, a depth or a range function, sharpness or band crossover, and selectivity or a threshold. Now, behind the scenes, I'm not really sure if there are different ratios for each band or how many bands there are in total, but regardless, this is a fantastic tool for balancing a vocal's frequency response by dynamically attenuating it in a frequency-specific way. So let's take a listen to it.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
Oxford Inflator by Sonics. The inflator can be seen as a maximizer or an upward compressor that measures and amplifies quieter parts of the signal. On vocals, I like to use the effect at 100%, and then adjust the input to compensate for the gain changes while keeping the curve at 0. It also introduces harmonics, which will fill the vocal and help cover some of the noise floor that was amplified by the upward compression. Let's take a listen.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
Today's video is brought to you by Lalal AI, a next-generation neural network trained in separating and extracting various instruments and signals, all with minimal audio artifacts. To use it, simply upload your track, let the AI process it, and then preview the results. It can separate vocals from instrumentation, as well as drums, bass, electric guitar, and more. Additionally, they offer a vocal cleaning program that's great at attenuating unwanted noise from a vocal or dialogue. Right now, they're offering a free starter package, so check that out using the link in the description. MV2 by Waves Audio. MV2 is similar to the inflator in that instead of compressing from the peaks down, it amplifies quieter aspects of the signal, in turn, reducing the dynamic range. Now with Plugin Doctor, we can see that it works similar to the inflator, but has a different characteristic, especially when processing higher amplitude signals. So let's take a listen and notice how it's somewhat similar to the last plugin in terms of sound, but has a distinct, slightly more aggressive effect.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
If you're enjoying the channel, use the search box to watch more of our videos. Ozone 9 Dynamics by Isotope. Although this is typically used for bus or master bus dynamics processing, I think Ozone Dynamics is a great option for vocals. Now you can create up to 4 independent bands, making it a great option for de-essing or just generally controlling your vocals dynamics in a frequency-specific way. Some other useful features include various detection types, adaptive release, auto makeup gain, and in the settings section, look ahead to control the transients. Let's take a listen and notice how it lets us fine-tune the vocals compression.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
Mu by Pulsar. Mu is an emulation of a variable bias compressor. Now this makes the ratio program and threshold dependent and causes a slower attack. Now for vocals, this will result in a smoother, more natural sound, but it isn't the best for controlling dynamics. That said, I'd recommend this one on a vocal bus. Now the sidechain section lets us emphasize vocal presence into the compressor, and the look behind setting lets more transients pass through unaffected. Let's take a listen using the same demo for consistency's sake, but notice how it would likely work better at subtly controlling a group of vocals.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
Lala by Analog Obsession. Last up we have an emulation of a LA2A, but this free version from Analog Obsession has even more features than most paid-for versions. The attack and release are fixed and program dependent, but we can control the compressor's detection of the incoming signal. The limit option results in a higher ratio, but in most examples the original ratio will be perfect for creating a smooth, warm, and dense vocal. Lastly, we can click the Analog Obsession logo to enable oversampling, resulting in more accurate emulation of the original hardware, especially at more aggressive settings. Let's take a listen.
You were the girl from nowhere, now you're going back there, facing the unknown. You were the girl from nowhere. Now you're going back there, facing the unknown.
If you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching.